Hey, Dr. Hackmeyer here, and I want to welcome you to my website. I see that you just scheduled a 15 or 30-minute phone consult. Really looking forward to hearing more about your health problems and seeing if I can really just help you find a solution. For many of my patients, they describe their health and their experience with doctors as really just being one revolving door with zero answers, going from one doctor to the next, and really no one's listening, no one's trying to find out the root cause of the problem. And this is incredibly frustrating. And I know how frustrating it is to be sick and not have any direction. If that's been your experience, I hope to be the one that finally gives you direction and answers in a pathway to healing. Now, in this short video, I really want to go over with you some of the most frequently asked questions by prospective patients. What makes my clinic different? How much it costs to get started? This way, when we get on the phone, that we can make the most out of that time on the call itself and really just see if we're a good fit for one another. So a little bit about my practice. I've been in practice for over 25 years. I'm certified in functional medicine, and I really just love helping patients with chronic health problems. There's nothing more rewarding than helping someone who has been everywhere, has seen every doctor, has had every test done, tried every diet, and when they finally reach out to my clinic and my team, we're able to help them find answers as to why they've been struggling with their health, why they've been suffering for so long, and then finally chart a course for healing and just supporting their body naturally. And that's what this is all about. I want to help you get back to the life that you deserve. I want you to get back to being the mom that you want to be, the dad that you're supposed to be, or the young person that still has their whole life and dreams and future ahead of them, but can't do that because of these health challenges. Now, one of the questions that prospective patients often ask me is if they're going to work directly with me or if I'm going to hand them off to one of my assistants. And this is a great question. Every month I accept 10 to 12 new patients. I like to start with these initial phone consults so I can see if I'm a good fit for you. And if you've been accepted into our treatment program, then once I reviewed your case, you'll work directly with me and with a dedicated nutritionist for things that pertain to your diet. So anything diet related, things like meal planning, recipes, the specific diet you may need to follow, what foods you may need to avoid, and also when perhaps it's time to start reintroducing these foods. Again, you'll work with me directly for anything that pertains to testing, treatment, what supplements you'll be taking, dosages, and really just the management and the overall supervision of your entire treatment plan while you're under my care. Now, one of the things that I think is so important is personal treatment. So I don't offer group consulting like many functional medicine clinics. People who have chronic health problems, they cannot be lumped together into a Facebook group or some other way of mass treatment. And so while this kind of treatment certainly is cheaper, it's impossible to provide very specific and personalized treatment recommendations for the kinds of patients that I work with. Many patients also ask if I live out of state or if I live out of the country, can I still work with your clinic? And the answer is yes, you can. I personally work and consult virtually with patients in over 25 different countries around the world. So if you're calling from out of state or out of the country, I want you to know that testing can virtually be done wherever you live. If you're out of the country, some of the testing that we often run though will need to come back and get shipped back to the United States, but we can talk more about that. Another question I'm often asked is from patients who've worked with other functional medicine clinics is, what makes you different from other doctors, right? And so again, this is just a fantastic question because on the surface, our approach may seem the same, right? You need to make dietary changes, you need to take supplements. But functional medicine is also an art. And I think there are a few things that make our office stand out. Number one, I would say, is that I only accept cases that I feel like I can truly help. And number two, we limit the number of patients that we personally work with every single month. And that's very different from most offices who accept every single patient that reaches out to them and hands them off to another doctor in the office. And I don't do that. By limiting the number of patients that I accept every month, it does a few things. And this goes a long way to increase the success rate to over 90%. Number one, it allows me to put my energy into those patients that are serious about their health. And number two, it really just allows me to spend time with those patients. Chronic health problems can't be treated the same way that traditional medicine treats most health problems. And when you try to treat a chronic health problem with a healthcare system that we currently have in place, it just doesn't work, right? More medications or switching the kind of medication that you're currently taking, that doesn't work because it doesn't get to the root cause of your health problem in the first place. And this is, again, why we limit the number of patients accepted into care every month. If I accepted every single patient who wanted to work with my office, I don't think I'd be able to provide the quality of care and the attention to detail that many of my patients require. Now, the other thing that makes my clinic very different, especially nowadays, is that I don't believe in a cookie cutter approach or a cookie cutter protocol where we do the same thing with every single patient who has a thyroid problem or a gut problem or hormonal problem or mast cell problem or mold issue or autoimmune disease. Every treatment plan is very thoughtfully created, intentionally planned out, and really just prepared for that individual. And so that brings me to the next question, which is testing. I realize prospective patients like you are anxious to get started with a treatment plan, but this is often akin to putting the cart before the horse. Before we can ever develop a treatment plan that's specific to you, we really need to understand the cause of your problem and how you ended up where you are today, right? You're not having these health problems today from what you did 3 months ago or 6 months ago. And this is why after a phone consult, if you're a good fit, the next step is becoming, in a patient, is becoming and having a case review. And this is the most important step because this is when it comes to success, it helps me understand the kinds of testing that we need to personalize to your needs based on your health history, past lab testing, medications, daily stressors, and really any pivotal event that may have happened in your life that may have contributed to the health problems that you are currently experiencing. Sometimes we need to dig into the past in order to understand the present, and that's what the case review does. It really just provides all those subtle clues to help me understand how to help you get better faster. Now, I will say this about testing. Some doctors don't run tests, but I strongly believe in testing. If you don't test, you're guessing, and if your goal is to go beyond just guessing and really get to the root cause, you're going to need some testing that's very specific to your needs, specific to your individual symptoms, and specific to your lifestyle factors. And this is why I spend so much time reviewing cases the way I do. One thing you'll hear me say repeatedly over and over is that you can't fix something if you don't know where it's broken. And this is why, again, a thorough review of your case, testing and retesting and monitoring the effectiveness of your treatment plan becomes so important and part of what makes us different. Now, the last thing I want to go over with you, and just a few reminders about your upcoming phone consultation, is what you can expect to invest in your health as far as costs if you're considering my office and my big picture approach. If you're scheduling a discovery 15 or 30-minute phone consult, keep in mind that these appointments go by really fast. And so I just ask a few things and just a few reminders that I want to go through in this quick video. Number one is please make sure you call on time for your scheduled appointment. And number two, it is really, really helpful if you review my website and my YouTube channel and just familiarize yourself with what I do and my approach prior to your call. Sometimes if you call earlier than your scheduled appointment, there's a good chance that I'm just finishing up with a previous client. And since these appointments really are scheduled usually back to back to back, if you don't get me on the first shot, just give me a call back within a minute or two. Again, I'm going to do my best not to have that previous call spill over into your time, but that can only happen if you call at your scheduled time. Now, if for any reason that you can't make your appointment, please, please, please use the link to cancel or reschedule your appointment. Once your 15-minute or 30-minute appointment is confirmed, you're going to receive an email, several email reminders, in fact, about that call. Please, number three, don't be a no-show. That's when someone blocks off my time and then doesn't call, right? I'm putting time aside, especially for you to discuss your health concerns and, of course, see if we're a good fit. Please make that appointment. I just ask that you have that courtesy to my office, to my staff, where if you need to cancel or reschedule, you just do that. The last question that comes up, everybody wants to know, is how much does it cost to get started? How much is testing and treatment and nutritionists? Does insurance cover it? So as you probably realize by now, functional medicine is very different than traditional medicine. Visits are longer, and everything from diet to treatment plans are obviously personalized. So that means that there's a tremendous amount of time that goes into your case that you don't see happening, or that you don't see happening. Insurance companies pay for you to be shuffled in and out of doctors' offices and for doctors really to just write prescriptions and get you out of their offices as fast as you can. You and I both know that that's not the solution to better health, and for this reason, insurance companies don't cover or they don't reimburse for the kind of care. They don't pay for testing, they don't pay for the management of your case or the time that I spend in your case after I get off the phone with you. When it comes to functional medicine, the costs are obviously going to be different from person to person to person. That really depends on a few things. Number one is, are you a high complexity case or a low complexity case? Are you coming from, are you coming to my clinic from another functional medicine doctor's office, or am I the first functional medicine doctor that you're working with? How much time do I need to spend reviewing past doctors' labs and lab reports and diagnostic imaging? What did these previous doctors miss? What tests do I need to run in order to feel confident that I can understand your case and help you? Have you had the right testing done based on the review that I do on your case? How long will your initial treatment plan be before I feel I can get you stabilized? Are you going to work with one of my nutritional therapists? And if so, for how many visits? How long will those consultations be? As you can see, there's a lot of variables that need to be considered when it comes to reviewing your case, identifying where your problems may be rooted, and finally developing a treatment plan. So while I can't say or give you an exact number of what it's going to cost, one thing I will say is this. If you want a root cause approach to regaining your health, patients should have anywhere between $2,000 to $4,000 ready to invest in their health. And this would be everything from a case review to testing to working with your nutritional therapist and obviously working with me. Keep in mind that that's a ballpark figure. Sometimes it's a bit more, sometimes it's a bit less. Now, another question I get regarding treatment is, do I offer financing or monthly payments? And so as I briefly mentioned just a moment ago, as far as financing goes, we do offer advanced care card and care credit for those patients who want to take advantage of those financing options. If you're not familiar with either of these patient resources, essentially these companies help you finance your testing and help finance your treatment plans. In most cases, depending on your credit history, many times the terms of that financing can be 0%. Other times patients use a regular credit card, or they just do a search online for a 0% APR credit card as well. So in closing, I hope that answers some of the most pressing questions, gives you a better idea of what we do in the process of becoming a patient. I look forward to speaking with you. Take care.